Are you struggling to pay off debt and feel like you're getting nowhere? You're throwing money at your loans, but the balances never seem to budge. Trust me, I've been there. It can feel like you're stuck in quicksand. But what if I told you that you might be making one of these common mistakes without even realizing it? In this video, we're diving deep into the 7 biggest mistakes people make when paying off debt, mistakes that could be costing you thousands in the long run. We're not just going to identify the problems, we're going to tackle them head-on with practical solutions you can start using today. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to tackle your debt head-on and avoid costly mistakes. No more feeling lost or overwhelmed, just clear, actionable steps to get you on the road to financial freedom. Let's do this. Let me tell you, the first and arguably biggest mistake people make when tackling debt is going in without a solid plan. It's like setting out on a cross-country road trip with no map, no GPS, and no idea how you're going to get there. You might eventually reach your destination, but it's going to take a lot longer, and you're going to waste a ton of time and energy along the way. So, how do you create a winning debt payoff plan? Well, there are 2 popular methods I always recommend: the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. The debt snowball is all about building momentum. You list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rates, and focus all your extra payments on the smallest one while making minimum payments on the rest. Once that smallest debt is gone, boom, you take that same payment amount and roll it into the next smallest debt, creating a snowball effect. This method is great for staying motivated because you see quick wins early on. Then there's the debt avalanche. This method is for the more numbers-oriented folks out there. Here you list your debts from highest interest rate to lowest and prioritize paying down the highest interest debt first. This approach saves you the most money on interest payments over time. Now, I've seen both methods work wonders for people. The key is finding the one that best suits your personality and financial situation. Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So, take some time to figure out your strategy, write it down, and stick to it. You got this. All right, let's talk about high-interest debt. This is the stuff that can really keep you stuck in a debt cycle if you're not careful. I'm talking about those pesky credit cards with interest rates that seem to climb higher than my Los Angeles rent. It's like trying to outrun a cheetah on a treadmill. You're putting in the effort, but you're not getting anywhere. The longer you let high-interest debt linger, the more it's going to cost you in the long run. Imagine this. You have a $10,000 credit card balance with a 20% interest rate. If you only make minimum payments, you're looking at years of paying off that debt and potentially thousands of dollars in interest alone. So what can you do? Well, your first line of defense is to prioritize paying down those high-interest debts as quickly as possible. Remember the debt avalanche method we talked about? This is where it really shines. By focusing on the highest interest debt first, you're minimizing the amount of interest you accrue over time. Another strategy to consider is a balance transfer credit card. These cards offer a promotional period with 0% interest, giving you some breathing room to chip away at your balance without those pesky interest charges piling up. And hey, if you have good credit, refinancing your debt at a lower interest rate could be a game changer. Okay, let's be real for a second. How many of you actually have a detailed budget? Don't worry, I'm not here to judge. In fact, I used to be terrible with money myself. But let me tell you, creating and sticking to a budget is hands down one of the most important things you can do to gain control of your finances and crush your debt. Think of your budget as a financial roadmap. It helps you track your income, expenses, and where your money is going each month. Without it, it's way too easy to overspend without even realizing it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Budgets are boring and restrictive, but trust me, it doesn't have to be that way. There are tons of budgeting apps and tools out there that make it easier than ever to manage your money. Personally, I'm a big fan of YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. But hey, if YNAB isn't your style, there are plenty of other options. What's your go-to budgeting tool? Drop it in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for new recommendations. Imagine this. You're working hard to pay off your credit card debt. You're finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then bam! You get hit with an unexpected car repair or medical bill. Suddenly you find yourself reaching for that same credit card you swore you'd stop using. This, my friends, is the vicious cycle of debt. You're trying to get ahead, but you keep getting pulled back in. It's like trying to run up a downward escalator. You're putting in the effort, but you're not making any progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to get out of debt is continuing to accumulate new debt while they're trying to pay off old debt. It's like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a hole in the bottom. You're not going to get very far. So, how do you break free from this cycle? Well, the first step is to get real with yourself about your spending habits. Are you relying on credit cards for everyday purchases or impulse buys? If so, it might be time to make some changes. Consider cutting up your credit cards, at least temporarily, until you've got a handle on your spending. Another strategy is to switch to a cash-only system for discretionary spending. Let's be honest, getting out of debt requires some lifestyle changes. It's not always easy, but trust me, it's worth it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to tackle their debt without addressing their spending habits. It's like trying to lose weight by simply joining a gym but not changing your diet. You might see some results, but they're not going to be sustainable in the long run. The truth is, if you want to achieve lasting financial freedom, you need to take a hard look at your spending and identify areas where you can cut back. And no, I'm not talking about depriving yourself or living like a monk. I'm talking about being mindful of your spending and making conscious choices about where your money is going. Start by tracking your expenses for a month or two. You can use a budgeting app, a spreadsheet, or even just a notebook. Once you have a clear picture of where your money is going, you can start identifying areas where you can cut back without drastically impacting your lifestyle. For example, are you guilty of eating out for lunch every day? Packing your lunch a few times a week could save you a significant amount of money each month. Write down 3 things you can cut from your spending this week. Every little bit helps. Listen, paying off debt is often about more than just cutting back on spending. While it's crucial to get your expenses under control, sometimes you need to focus on increasing your income to really accelerate your debt payoff journey. One of the biggest mistakes people make is not exploring opportunities to earn more money. Whether it's picking up a side hustle, negotiating a raise, or finding ways to monetize your skills, there are tons of possibilities out there. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm already working a full-time job. I don't have time for anything else, but hear me out. Even dedicating a few hours a week to a side hustle can make a significant difference in your debt payoff timeline. The gig economy has exploded in recent years, making it easier than ever to find flexible ways to earn extra cash. You could drive for Uber or Lyft, deliver food with DoorDash or Grubhub, or even walk dogs with Rover. If you're more of the creative type, consider freelancing your skills online. And hey, if you have some unused items lying around your house, why not sell them online? Okay, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when it comes to paying off debt: celebrating your wins. That's right. I'm talking about acknowledging your progress and giving yourself credit for all the hard work you're putting in. Paying off debt can be a long and challenging journey, and it's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day grind. But if you're not taking the time to celebrate your milestones along the way, you're missing out on a key ingredient for staying motivated and on track. Think about it. When you're working towards a big goal, whether it's running a marathon or starting a business, those small victories along the way provide fuel to keep going. The same principle applies to paying off debt. Each time you pay off a credit card, reach a milestone on your debt snowball, or hit a new savings goal, take some time to acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishment. Now, I'm not suggesting you throw a lavish party every time you make an extra payment on your student loan, but even small gestures of self-care and celebration can make a big difference. Remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the importance of having a plan and tackling high-interest debt, to the power of budgeting and finding ways to earn more. Remember, getting out of debt is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time, effort, and consistency. But trust me, the feeling of financial freedom is worth every ounce of effort. Which of these mistakes surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Plus, check out my playlist on debt repayment strategies for even more tips and tricks. Stay focused, stay motivated, and never give up on your financial dreams. In an upcoming video, we'll explore the best side hustles to boost your income and speed up your financial journey. Don't miss it.